as compared to what we will see at Independence Time, where there will be a quick march. This is done in a measure of solemnity and respect. It is a good time for us as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and even those who are viewing our live coverage here on TTT via our respective channels, to continue to hold a moment of prayer, to consider a moment of reflection for the family of the former Prime Minister, that they be comforted during the process of saying farewell. It is difficult for a family to always let go of a loved one, and more so as us as a nation, to now see someone who has served our country, who has provided for our country in so many ways during his time, not just as Prime Minister, but as we recall the reflection shared by the President of our Republic when learning of Mr. Panday in his position as an attorney representing the cases for those who may not have been able to afford the legal costs at the time, always putting someone else first.
That's right. That is a true semblance of one of the doctrines of Sanatana Dharma, of Hinduism, and other religions as well. There's a song that Mahatma Gandhi held close to his heart.
Yes.
Vaishnav Janato Te Namekahiye. A true child of God puts others before his or herself, and their situation is always before his or her own.
Yes.
It says that to really, really make God happy, you must see God in every person on the face of the earth, and to serve mankind is to serve God.
As we see the detachments of the Defence Force, members of the Army making their way at the shore of peace, you're viewing live coverage of TTT's broadcast of the state funeral of Mr. Basdeo Panday, former Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and our location at this time is the shore of peace in San Fernando. We listen to the solemnity, the sounds of the Defence Force musicians in the background, that which is associated with a funeral march. And as they draw nearer, we'll take a moment to listen as they share their musical tribute as part of the military procession on entry to the cremation site. Procession and march for the arrival of the cortege. We can note that once the departure from the Southern Academy was done via the hearse, on arrival at the shore of peace, the casket was moved from the hearse and placed once again on the gun carriage for entrance to the cremation site. Senior officers in full dress uniform march alongside the casket, recognizing the status of the former Prime Minister as a former head of government, being afforded all of the rights entitled as a former head of government. The family immediately follow the military escort and form part of what is called the cortege, comprising of the gun carriage, the military detachment, and members of the immediate family of the deceased. There is quite a journey for one who has not been to the shore of peace.
It is.
From the entrance point, the area where you park your cars, etc., before making
The
entry
ascent
to the
to-
ascent
towards
to
the
the
gate
cremation
itself.
site.
Usually it's a quick drive,
Yes.
but today every step is counted, as every step matters.
Yes.
Every footfall for a man who has made footfalls in every nook and cranny of our country. So today, every step that the military detachment is making is literally in tribute to a man who has walked every length and breadth of our country. They're going up to the hill,
Yes.
and they'll be going to the entrance of the cremation site, and from there we'll be witnessing the procession as they go along, and I will try my best
Yes.
to give the necessary information for those of us who are viewing, not just here but all over the world.
In the traditional manners that funerals were held in Trinidad and Tobago in the very early days, the funeral procession would normally take place from wherever the service was held to the final resting place.
To the resting place, yes.
And most persons would have walked. So you always knew when there was a funeral in a village, because you will see everyone in procession making
procession
their way
itself,
to,
yes.
to the final resting place, whether that be for cremation or for,
Or for
burial,
burial.
as would have obtained.
So now we're seeing, again, as tradition would tell,
Yes.
everyone is in procession behind the man of the moment and our VIP
Yes.
for today.
It's very important, of course, for us to appreciate that this is a public space. This is an open space. So whilst you may see just the immediate family based on the location that we're at and the opportunity that has been afforded to our cameras to be in procession, appreciate that apart from members of the defense force that are on either side, members of the public are also there.
Yes, I was told that members of the public were gathered at the Shore of Peace even when the ceremonies were started at the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts. So they tried to maybe circumvent the traffic
Yes.
and the congestion
And get to a
and,
vantage point.
get to a vantage point to see the great son of the soil leave us today.
Yes. Mr. Panday has made an outstanding contribution to the development and presence of Trinidad and Tobago on the world stage. Reference was made by the President of our country, Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo, to the establishment of the office of the CCJ to be resident in Trinidad and Tobago.
Exactly.
And other international opportunities that Mr. Panday afforded. For my part, I had the good opportunity during the visit of former U.S. Retired General Colin Powell, who came to Trinidad and Tobago during Mr. Panday's term in office. Mr. Panday had a lovely state reception for him, or a dignified reception at the residence of the Prime Minister, and exposed him to the choices of beverages that one would expose at the time of hosting a dignitary, and then provided the entertainment, which included the Mighty Sparrow, who the retired U.S. general, now deceased, showed a fond appreciation for. From Gulf War to Port of Spain, Trinidad, he had a chance to experience the true culture of our country through our Prime Minister being his host at the time.
At that time.
Yes, he's also remembered for the time of the staging of the Miss Universe pageant in Trinidad and Tobago, Atto Bolden returning home after his achievements at the Olympics, and many other occasions where he allowed Trinidad and Tobago to be prominent on the international stage and to be the country's diplomat-in-chief at the time.
At that time, yes. We've now seen the cortege stop at the entrance of Mosquito Creek, the Shore of Peace, the cremation site itself, and they are going to hoist the casket again on the shoulders of the servicemen who have been selected for this duty here today.
Yes. Based on the angles that we're afforded, we'll be moving from time to time from the location where we have a permanent location, permanent position, to, of course, these close-up shots that give you a greater understanding of what's happening at the level of the ordinary viewer, at the level of the citizen that is standing alongside. Literally, the Shore of Peace affords a level of informality. We are all equal. Yes. When we arrive there, there isn't a dignitary position versus an ordinary man.
All the pyres are created the same size.
Yes.
They are all laid with sand.
Yes.
And it's a pyre that's packed with wood, and it's on the common ground, like you said.
Yes.
The sky is the canopy, the earth is the stage, and the ocean is there as witness, as what we call sakshi, and we all have the same exit.
Yes.
Through the burning fires to ascend to heaven, as it were.
Here are the members of the Defense Force, those who have been specially assigned to serve as the pallbearers. They have, under ceremony, removed the coffin from the gun carriage and are now making their procession, moving the casket to the location that should be at an entrance point, and we would be guided at this point, Pundit, as to whether there's a conduct of the religious rite here, or yes, whether it's continued only at the pyre.
As we're viewing the proceedings, as they make the stop, if they do or not, I will narrate what those proceedings are. And if it is that they're going straight to the pyre, we will observe as we go along. I expect that at this time, he will be given the gun salute just before the placement into the chitta, or the pyre itself. Again, this is the very first state funeral under Hindu rites here in Trinidad and Tobago for the first ever Prime Minister of the Hindu faith. This is historic in so many ways. And for those of us who would have seen Mr. Panday move up from one level of leadership to another, and then give way to others in the political arena, and now live the rest of his life still in public view, in the public's eye, we are now seeing a great man being carried to his resting place as per the state's directions and according to Hindu rites. Again, the sounds you are hearing from the Shore of Peace would be the military sounds of that Frank Sinatra song, My Way.
Well, go behind the car. Demora tudo a válvula.
We are now seeing sights of the coffin, the casket being carried.
Sorry, we don't drop off. No.
From our team that is live at the Shore of Peace. And like we discussed before, usually, as per tradition, there are 5 stops or 5 times that the casket is placed on the ground or on the stand there. It's a stop where the elements are asked to return to their origin. The first would have been leaving the house, known as Dwaradesha, Dwaradeshe, and between the gateway of the house and the roadway, the first manzil, as it is called, is performed with archman sprinkling water, arti offering the light, and then the pindadan offering of the pinda. Pandit Atma Maharaj is chanting the mantras. The national flag that was draped on the coffin is to be removed now. You can hear the sounds of tassa drums echoing all over the Shore of Peace as the national flag is carefully removed, and it is to be folded as per instructions. A life in serving our country, a life of dedication, a life of working for the benefit and the happiness of others affords you having the national colors cover you in your last moments. We are blessed with beautiful weather today in the Southland in San Fernando at the Shore of Peace. The brilliant sunshine is out as though to witness this handing over of our son of our soil to the sacred fire. Pandits Atma Maharaj and Surendra Maharaj, the chief priests at today's ceremonies, with members of the immediate family, Mrs. Panday and their daughters. With the flag being folded, the pallbearers make way. as per tradition, the casket cover is opened and the manzil will be performed here. The temporary stop for the ceremony to continue. The ceremony assistant, called the Nau in the Hindu ceremonies, as you can see there in that view of the items in her hands, would be the thali, the thariya, the brass plate, also the brass vessel known as the lota. There are diyas there for the arati, and the rice balls at the pinda. Members of the funeral agency are just assisting with some adjustments to ensure that all goes well today. The cover has been completely removed for an unobstructed view of such a great man in this final aspect of the ceremony, affording all who stand there in every direction to catch a glimpse of what would become memories of this final day of the great Basdeo Panday. The male relatives of the family are now assembling, and in holding the handles together, they will chant Ram Naam Satya Hai. God's name alone is truth. It is the truth that will carry you forward. It is the truth that will set you free. God's name alone is what can save us. They will chant Ram Naam Satya Hai. God's name is true. God's name is truth. Some last minute discussions as to the logistics and the movement forward. As you would appreciate, we don't want to have any mistakes done, so they are taking their time. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, the chant to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, one of the avatars of Mahavishnu, the preserver of the creation according to the Hindu belief of the Trinity, Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the reabsorber. Lord Vishnu has many avatars and Bhagwan Krishna is one. It is said that he is the one who accepts all souls, as all souls from this earth return to him.
Subhash, his father's brother, Satish, and all the others, daughters on this side. Okay? It is on that side? No, they're fine.
They have been given the vessel of water called the lota, sprinkling the water, which is symbolic of a ritual bath. Water is sprinkled. The flame is lit and the arati is being done, waving of the light. Respect, adoration and love is shown in the offering of the light. After the sprinkling of water and the offering of light,
Let me have your attention, everyone.
you'll be seeing that they are picking up the pinda, the rice ball. It will be broken in pieces. It is being tossed, as you can see, north, south, east and west
Mr. Panday will be here, his daughters, the family,
to satisfy the sentient beings who are there.
everybody else. We all here to give that regard and respect. We should try to stay on the side or the back. And allow the procession to be leaded
And,
led by Mr. Panday and the immediate family. So
Another pinda is offered there at that time.
and allow the family to go up.
Chatvare Kechara.
Panday will be taken on the shoulders so that we can help everyone.
The third pinda is offered there.
I'll leave at least 8 people. We'd like the daughters to come forward here and they will walk forward.
Pandit Atmaharaj is giving some instructions, because as you would appreciate, the size of the crowd may hamper the smooth flow of the activities. So he's just giving some instructions as to allow the clear passage of those who are holding the casket to make their way forward.
We need more help. All the cotton here. Short.
To the sound of tassa drums and the chant of Ram Naam Satya Hai, God's name is truth. Some will be chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O Bhagavan Krishna, we offer salutations to you again and again. There are 5 stops. The first would have been done at the home, and 4 more are done here. Tradition states that if you can find a 4-way junction, you can make one offering there, one of the stops. Also, when you come to the gateway, the entrance of the cremation site, a stop is made there. That is the one you just saw. Midway between the entrance and the chitta, or the funeral pyre, they will be making preparations to have one other stop. The verse from scripture will read, Vishranto Bhutanam cha, the beings that exist everywhere in this cremation site. Adhyamagotrasya, according to Mr. Panday's family lineage, and in his name, Rudradevatova, different deities are sanctioned to accept these offerings, to preside over these offerings. The water you are seeing, the vessel of water being sprinkled. God, please purify and sanctify this body. The thali is given, the plate, the light is being waved. Pandit Surendra is taking up another of the pindas on a plate of a koa leaf, a special leaf used for these purposes.